Welcome back to Popes and Pylons. Let's play some Roguebook. Yeah, this is not Europa Universalis 4. It's not a grand strategy or even a strategy game, I suppose. This is a deck builder roguelike, or a roguelike deck builder. I have not quite figured out what my next campaign, my next strategy campaign is going to be. If it's going to be EU4 or something else, and if it's EU4, what I would do in there. So I'm going to play some other game that I enjoy right now, and I do enjoy roguelike deck builders, and I do enjoy this new one, Roguebook. Partially designed by Richard Garfield of Magic the Gathering fame, which is, that's good. Do like Magic a lot. And it has been, well, it's played quite nice. It has some nice innovations over other roguelike deck builders that I would like to showcase. Now, there's been a huge push on video content on this game, on Twitch and YouTube. Because they paid a lot of people to play it. They didn't pay me, so I can have my own opinion here. There's nothing stopping me from expressing my own opinion. Now, I just started a run and a recording, except I didn't record. So forgive me if I forget something, because I feel like I already said it. What is this game about? In its base, it is a roguelike deck builder. You fight monsters, you get cards that help you fight monsters more, and then there's a big bad boss in the end. In fact, there are 3 acts, 3 of these maps we can see here. Each of them have a boss, and when you beat the final one, you're done, and then you get to start a new run. One thing that is very different to other roguelike deck builders is that you have 2 characters that you play as, and there's some positional play to it. I'm gonna, for now, pick the basic 2 that you also start the game with, Sharra and Sorocco here. Because, well, Aurora over here, the turtle, she lends herself to combo style decks, and I feel that that's a bit annoying for an introductionary episode. And Seraph, I think? Down here, what's the actual name? Cypher, not Seraph. He would also be a fine choice, I suppose. Let's just use the starting setup. It'll be fine. This person here will act as a merchant later on. For now, I could do a bunch of meta progression upgrades here. As you can see, I already have a bunch of those. I have decided not to start a fresh save for our recordings, because if you want to watch people start from scratch, then there's a lot of that on YouTube already. I don't think you need that. I still tutorialize this episode, try to talk as much as possible about how the game works, and then later on hopefully we'll won't have to do that as much. This being a tutorial episode, I will also choose to not use any of these optional difficulty changes here. Normally when I play these kinds of games, I want to play on the hardest difficulty I have unlocked and try to beat that. And these ones are very interesting because they actually changed the game a lot, but they also changed the game a lot. And I want to show you the base game before we do any changes. So I'm going to start at base difficulty here for our first run. And we see how many runs there will be, depending on how interested you folks are in this game and how interested I am and how well this lends itself to recording, because I already know that I won't be able to do this in one episode. Because it's going to be too long with me explaining all of that. Now, what do we have here? Because of meta progression, as you can saw, I had some unlocks. We get some items in the beginning. I'm going to talk about this ink in a minute, but I have to make a choice here, so I'm going to have to quickly check what this item is that we're getting. First time each battle, the other hero would take lethal. Wow. Reading, hello. The Knight's Pauldrons. The first time each battle, the other hero would take lethal damage, swap the heroes, and gain 12 block. We're going to see why that would matter, but I think I'm going to put that on Sorocco here, because Sorocco has more survivability in general, and this protects the other person. So let's do that, and we get a gemstone. We don't need to talk about that right now. All right, so we're in the game proper. We can see there's a path that has been revealed here that leads us straight to the boss. We could essentially just go there right away. We have to fight this battle and this battle on the way to get through, but otherwise we could just go and beat the boss. But there's a whole lot of map that isn't revealed yet that has stuff in it. Some things are revealed, like this item here, and battles, and these sky towers, which will reveal more stuff, and this item over here. And we'll have to find our way there. Essentially, the strategy layer, if you want to call it that, this map layer of the game, is about tactically or strategically revealing parts of the map so that you can get the most value before you leave the map by fighting the boss. That makes sense. Okay, so there's a shop here and a fight here and a thing where we can get another card here. I doubt that we're going to touch either of those. Well, maybe the fight first. Let's briefly have a look at how we could go about revealing the map or exploring the map. Two ways. The basic one is this, the brush. We have a brush, we have 5 charges, or ink for 5 charges, I suppose, for 5 uses of the brush that will reveal spaces in a radius of 2, as you can see. And if we were to use it where we are right now, we would be revealing 7 spaces that are interesting. There are 2 other spaces, these grayish ones, that would be revealed as well, but they have tile blockers on them, so we wouldn't be able to walk there anywhere, and there can't be anything useful on them, so they are not even counted in. So when using these inks, you're kind of trying to optimize for revealing the most you can to make the most value, because each of these tiles, as far as I'm aware, has the same chance of having something useful on it. Then there are these inks, which you get for fighting normal battles, and they do different things, but they all reveal area. And this one is the most basic one you could have. It just reveals 3 tiles in a straight line from where you are. So you can just use that for a more precise revealing. All right, last thing before we go into a battle, quickly check our deck, because, well, there are a couple of things. One thing that is different to, say, Slay the Spire is that the deck is made up of 2 halves, a bunch of cards that are from Sharra and a bunch of cards that are from Sorocco. And that matters partially. Matters depending on where they are positioned in combat, and it can matter for how they work and what they do. And it can matter for other things, because in this example here, Sharra has a basic item there. She gains 3 power when she's in front in combat. So her attacks have a bit more of a chance to do extra damage, because she has this feature and Sorocco does not. He or they have a blocking thing instead. And we'll talk about what blocking means in a minute. I'm just going to quickly check if this is a functional deck we got here, because some of the meta progression that I have replaces basic cards in the basic deck with random cards. And sometimes that can be a bit difficult. It's fine. This slam is probably going to be useless for a while. I don't think we can actually cast it right now, but that'll be okay. I could put one of these stones in there, but I don't want to talk about stones yet. Let's just have a basic fight so we can see how the game works. Let's get in here. Sure. And this first load always takes a moment. Afterwards, the fights load much faster. There we go. Now I can see on the left we have, instead of something like Slay the Spire where you have just your one character, we have our 2 characters and their position matters. So right now Sorocco is up front. Sorocco, I keep saying Sorocco. And Sharra is in the back. This can change depending on what cards we play. For example, I could lunge and Sharra would go up front. Where she does more damage, this is already calculated into this lunge. So this does 9 normally, and because she has 3 power when she's up front, this will do 12. Which is quite nice that they would show you that. And then we see our enemies over here, these 3 utterly terrifying yaks. The first enemies are not that terrible. They have 17 HP, as you can see down here, and they all intend to do things. Just like Slay the Spire, you get to see what your enemies are trying to do every turn. Front and back yak are trying to attack us for 2 times 2 each, and the middle one is trying to do some sort of buff. So it's going to get stronger, or it's going to block it. I think just blocking would show in a different way. So it's trying to get stronger or make its friends stronger. Now, we have a card here that makes us block for free for 4 that will take care of one of these Yak's attacks. We also have a card here that will do 7 block. Ignore the ally part for now. We don't have allies. So we can certainly fully block. The question is, could we also not cast the phalanx, that is? Because if we kill one of the attacking ones, then we don't have to worry about 4 of that damage, and the other 4 could be easily handled by parry. And if we look at 12 damage plus 7 damage is 19 damage. The Backyard attacking has 19 life. That seems like a perfect fit for a charge, or a lunge, which will charge, as it says, moves her forward and does the damage. And then Sorocco will strike from the back and deal another 7 to kill. Now I will parry to defend. If I had been in the back and used parry or any other block card, it would have moved me up front. If I would use this right now, Sorocco would go up front. But we don't need it. We can rather strike. I'm going to strike the one that's buffing because they are more likely to attack for more next turn because they're using a buff, right? Even if they both decide to attack, I assume this one is more likely to do more damage, and that's it. We get a nice little preview here. What's going to happen when we hit end turn. We'll take exactly no damage, but all our block will be lost. That's fine because block gets lost every turn anyway, just like a game like Slay the Spire. So essentially, you're on the very, very basis of these combats, you're trying to match your block to the enemy's damage, so you don't take any and use the rest of your energy to do damage to the enemy. Of course, there's a lot more to it, but that's the basic gist. Block those attacks, and you can see this one is doing a multiple attack, just like the other ones we had before, 2 by 2, but they're now doing 5 by 2 because they have 3 extra power from their buff, so they're much scarier. Now, what can we do? We can certainly kill one. But can we kill 2? And the answer is yes. Because Sharra is up front, she gets that 3 bonus power. So strike doesn't do 7, but does 10 damage. Perfect fit for a kill on this yak. And then I have 1000 cuts. 9 times 3 is certainly more than 17. And there we go. Victory is ours. Tough, tough fight. We get some rewards. We get a bit of gold. They say a pile, but it's like, what was it, 20? And we get another ink. Precision ink this time. It's very similar to the just standard ink that we had. But rather than revealing 3 times in a row, we can use this 3 tiles. We can use this 3 times to reveal 1 tile each. So it's much more precise in its usage. All right, now we opened up a bit of the map. I could open this World of Wisdom, but I think our deck is good enough that we don't need to right now. We fought quite well there. The question becomes, what do we do next? I could just run through this Rune of Sight, which will reveal an item on the map that we don't know yet, and area around it. The thing is, it might reveal things that are in the range of these sky towers, which already will do a large reveal. It would be kind of a waste. And a big part of this overland map is that you try to optimize your resources to reveal as much as possible to get as much loot as possible before you go to the big boy. So we're going to try that. I think I'll go and fight this normal battle here. We'll get another ink, we'll see what it is, and then we'll probably make our way into this sky tower. Not quite sure how yet. I mean, we have options, it's just I don't quite like those options, but we can just discuss that once we have defeated this battle, won this battle. Oh, this is an interesting one because it's very scary. These folks don't attack for 2 turns, but afterwards attack for a lot. And I don't have a lot of damage in hand. Next turn I will get to lunge and 1000 cuts. I think all we can do here is strike and strike. And then it doesn't even matter whether we defend or guard because the block is wasted. And we don't need to move Sharra up because she can just move up with her charge next turn. Should have a look at this though. This attacks for 27, right? I think this attacks for 27. 6 plus the 3 if she's up front. So that's 27. We did 27 and 12, we were doing 39 damage. These have 46 life. So a singular strike, and those 2 cards will kill one of these. So I strike one, and I strike the other. Then end this turn. Cards go away. We get a tiny bit of block because Sorocco's up front. That doesn't do anything for us right now. But hey, we hit this person for 12. Move Sharra up front, and now this should do 27. And it does. They're toast. The other one is sleeping for another turn, which is fine. Now, next turn they're going to start attacking, and I don't know that we can kill, but we'll see. No need to cast the parry there because, again, nothing we could have done. And that's a cool amount of damage with 1,000 cuts, but it's not lethal. 27 and 7 is 34, and they have 39 life. So I can't quite get lethal here. That means I probably don't want to do this strike. And the rest just kind of plays itself. If we're not doing the strike, we can't ever cast Slam right now because, yes, it would attack for 24, but it costs 5, gets 1 cheaper for every card we play. We only have 3 energy. We have 1 0-cost card, so we can get it to cost 4, and every other card we play would cost us the mana it reduces it by, and it does nothing. This is kind of a dead card right for us right now. Bit unlucky, but fine. Let's hit this person for 27. It's close to the kill, but not quite it. I'm gonna parry and then phalanx in that order because this will move Sorocco up front. And if you remember, if Sorocco's up front, we gain 2 extra block. So we only take 5 HP damage here rather than taking 7. And hopefully this hand has a kill, and it does. Not too bad for this fight. Not too bad at all. Yes, we have 1 dead card in hand in our deck, but we also have 1 card that does a lot of damage. Okay, another Common Ink. I was kind of hoping for a 4-tile revealing one here. But we didn't get that, did we now? Well, it's fine. Just gonna have to be a tiny bit wasteful. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reveal 3 in a straight line. Here. Find nothing. Use one of our precision inks to open this one up and then get the tower. You see why this is wasteful, right? This tile here that Sorocco is on right now, that wasn't necessary to get to the tower, and it was revealed by the tower, so we kind of revealed it twice, which doesn't give you anything. What did we find? We found a little bit of gold. We found a Farrier well, which the first one doesn't do much. It gives you 1 energy on the first turn. The more you get of these, the better they become. So finding a lot of those wells is quite good. I found another elite battle and some card drafting here. I think I'm going to repeat the same trick, kind of, on the other side to get our 2 towers open. Because once we have done that, we can start using these Runes of Sight without worrying about wasting their reveal potential. So we reveal 3 tiles here. Whoop. Nothing again. 1 more tile. Nothing. And then the big boy. There we go. Found a bit of gold, another ink, which is quite nice, and another well, which is really good. So now we get 1 energy on our first 2 turns. I think the next one will give us +1 energy every turn. I believe. I'm going to leave this ink where it is for now, because inventory space is quite limited. If we want to use it, we're just going to go pick it up. That makes me a bit slower, and this first episode is already going to be quite slow, but that's just going to have to be what it's going to be. Let's grab this Rune of Sight. Let's see what it can show us. Ah, it's very nice. Didn't show us much in terms of stuff, but did give us some gold. And the nice thing is, well, except for giving us another Rune of Sight, is that this was adjacent, so I didn't have to use any inks or anything to reveal more land there. I just do it this way. I'll just walk there immediately. All right. So now the thinking might start. Might look like we only need the 1 precision ink to get here, but no, these tiles are all impassable. We would need to reveal 2 spaces here to get to the branch of Tarim, which I wouldn't mind having. I think Gaia's Grace is free card draw, if I'm not utterly mistaken. Oh, by the way, up here we can see what the final boss will be. It's unfortunately one that increased the cost of our cards. I don't like that one. It's no fun. I like playing other cards. I don't like when they go and take that away from me. I could just go and do some straight up bombings here. This is a pretty decent brush usage. We're not wasting a lot of tiles. We could go 1-2 into this. Get another battle. And every normal battle is guaranteed ink. So that's pretty good. Or we do that here. Because then we get to explode. Well, use our brush for 3, 7, 8 tiles, I believe, which is okay. And we open this up. Yeah, that seems like a good use of my 1 precision ink. Was there another way with the common ink? I don't think so. Let's just do another fight. And I'm just taking these basic fights because they're not super scary without taking any cards. So I can make better decisions later on. If I was feeling threatened by these fights, I would take more cards so we could be more safe. This is probably pretty easy. I think we defend with Sharra, so we go up front and defend against the backliner attack. And then we do 27 damage with 1,000 cuts to kill the archer. And they actually have a free mana, because we have that farrier thing going on. So we might actually get to a turn where we can cast Slam at some point. It is not this turn though. Let's get rid of you. And let's hit the frontliner for 10 because the backliner is stealthy. We can't hit him. Not until we have removed everybody else. If we had area of effect attacks, then we would be able to hit them. But as it stands, we cannot. Now, this hand is not particularly... Well, we can cast everything that's in it, so it's not particularly difficult at least. We're going to lunge you because we can't do anything else there. The only question is, who do we want to end up in front? And since this is, what, 11 block, they're attacking for 12, I want Sorocco in front. So I'm going to parry, then phalanx, so Sorocco comes up front. Again, if you play block cards, you move up front if you're not up front. And then I'm going to hit twice. Sorocco could have hit from the back, fine. They don't have any modifier to attacking from either position. But being up front, we get the extra 2 block from their passive. So no damage taken. Frontliner is trying to block again. Ooh, do we actually get cast Slam? No, we don't. Not even close, because Sorocco has tripped. Debuff applied by our enemy. The first card, the 0 place, costs 1 more. It's only this turn, but since we have mostly Sorocco cards in hand, there's not really much of a choice, is there? Otherwise, we'd just be playing Defend and Strike. I suppose when we're playing Sorocco cards, we're also only playing Defend and Strike, essentially, so it doesn't matter at all, does it? In theory, I could use this to move Sharra up front and then strike, so we do a tiny bit more damage. Which makes sense. But this person only has 4 health. They're the only one we can attack. So it doesn't even matter. I'm just going to go phalanx and strike. Like this. Anyway, any order would have been fine there. They attack us for not enough damage. And we can probably kill them here because we charge and then we cut 1,000 times, which is way more than enough to get rid of them. Continue. Oh, interesting. We didn't get an ink, but we got a Stardust Pigment, which is applied to my brush and makes it targetable instead of being sort of point blank on my character. I can now, for 1 brush use, I can target anywhere I want, which makes it better, but I usually do prefer an ink. What this allows me to do is something like go here or something and get very close to the actual item I'm looking for. Unfortunately, very close is not there. So we'd still have to use something else. I'm wondering whether there's a place where we just get more oomph out of it. You could also do this. which unveils 16 tiles as well, which is pretty good. It's like 3 of maximum or something. Is that possible? It looks like 3 of maximum, but it feels wrong. But hey. So this gets us down there and gives us 16 tiles. The question is, how do we get to this item? This item is also a question, but it's a lot easier to get to. There would be a huge waste to use our starters pick up there. But how are we going to get here in the end? We have a 3 space downing. And then we can maybe explode there for a pretty good chunk. Will be a 12. And then we're 1 tile off. That is very sad. It'd also be nice to be able to go down there. Because getting an extra fight means getting an extra ink. So it kind of pays for itself. Just don't see a great spot here. Is this maybe something like this is the way we do it, actually. This also gives me 16 tiles. It puts me in a 2-tile radius of the fight. So we can use that with 1 brush. And we're exactly 3 spots down here that we can then open up with the ink that we have. Yeah, I think that's decent. So, almost made a mistake there. This is impossible terrain. I can't go there. So we have a very hard time. Well, we can pierce in from here, I suppose. But then I would have to unveil like this. And then we're suddenly not within 2 tiles of that fight. Man, this is complicated. I guess I'm just gonna do this. Wait, wasn't there one here that was good? 15. Thought I had a spot here that was decent. This one, yes. Let's just do this one. Ah, nothing. Nothing at all. That is very sad. So now the question becomes, do we go down here? I think yes. It's a bit of a sad time not to go down there. And this is gonna, the more I play this game, the more this is gonna be easy. But for now I have it takes me a while to figure out the best use. I'm probably not gonna find the best use, of course, but man, we're not very lucky today, are we? Great reveal here, but nothing in it again. I guess it's punishing me for not having chosen the increased difficulties. This fight is interesting. It's going to be a lot rougher. I played this fight when I did the failed recording earlier. And I had an area of effect card there, so I could just kill them all at once. The reason this is interesting is because this person in the back is not attackable, because they have stealth. And they will summon 3 new ones, so we have to kill 6 of these tickies overall. One of which is easy to do, because you can just lunge it. And I guess we can cast all the things, so we go strike, strike, kill another one, and then we defend for 10. Good enough. No damage taken here. But they're gonna resummon. And we'll have to find a way to deal. Luckily, only one of them is attacking. Unluckily, I drew Slam. And I have 1000 cuts, which is way overkill. But I mean, no such thing as too much overkill, right? Get rid of you. Strike one of the ones that are buffing. And I don't think I want to move you back up. No, I do. We're actually being attacked. Didn't see the back one was attacking. That's fine. Sharra got vulnerable there. She would have taken 33% more damage. Not that that mattered with the one attack being a tiny one. Speaking of things mattering, this is a lot. Again, vulnerable here. So that's why they're doing extra damage. So I want to cast a defend at the end. Or at some point. A Sharra defend. So that we take a look. I think I'm just gonna go Phalanx. Well, that's a very sad turn, but with all that damage incoming, I think we do this. And then we defend. And then we strike one down. Was there a better way? Could not have killed a second one, I don't think. I think this was the best we could do. But that's a lot of damage. We only have 13 block. And we're getting hit for 18, I think? Yeah. So some damage taken. Not great. But we're whittling down those numbers. He's not going to resummon anything. So anything we kill now will stay dead. I can kill the 2 frontliners and block for 4. That sounds like a plan. Charge, attack for 12. 1000 cuts for 27. Parry for 4. No damage taken. And now they look a bit silly, don't they? Don't they just? It's lunge, end it. And continue. Another Stardust Pigment. It's cute and all, but it feels like it's overall less valuable than the real things. But now I'm definitely going to use it to get down there. Or to start getting down there. I don't have an ink. Do I have another fight? Not without doing that. I mean, I have elite fights, but they don't actually help with this. We have 281 ducats. We should check the shop. And normally I check the shop first when I start a run, but I didn't want to get into that. I'm not going to get into all the stuff that's here, but I'm quickly going to check whether there's a thing here that helps us unveil land. That doesn't seem to be. Fairy Flute is quite good. I would like to buy that. And now I'm looking at the things, of course. Volley is fun because it's multiplying with itself, essentially. Fire Breath AoE would be nice. Shield Bash? Not bad. We can go into detail later on these. I'm wondering whether I buy the flute right now. It does... Yeah, it still allows me to open one of the card thingies. Scientific name, these things here. Words of Wisdom. Without any punishment. I have the money for it, that's what I'm trying to say. Without any punishment. I mean, sure, I'm not getting punished, but it's not what I should have said there, is it? Is there any way to make this one good? Nah, fine, but not great. Things I don't know what kind of ink I'm gonna get here. So I should really assume that I'm gonna do a normal explosion to get down here, which is not great. And by explosion I mean the normal brush thing. Called explosion because it's around, it's a circle around me. Okay, not taunts here, but we are gonna get a gem at least and some money. This does not give me a fight, so I'm gonna do this fight first. Unlock it, yeah. Let's do that. Seem to be having a very hard time properly unlocking this map. And just generally finding things. These things, by the way, will heal both of my characters for 10. Well, when I use them. I can pick them up, carry them with me, and then use them later. Ooh, that's quite the fight, considering that we're still on floor 1 here. But turn 1 is kind of fine, probably. I don't know how the math is going to check out with this. Because we do 33% less damage when we're up front, thanks to this person. I think it will turn out that this does exactly 18 damage, no matter whether I'm in the front or not. Which is an unfortunate number when being attacked when that guy has 20 life. Let's find out if we can have a rounding error in our favor here. We cannot. I mean, there's no rounding going on there. Makes sense. I think I'll hit that anyway. Try to get it to a point where we can almost kill it. Then I'm not going to use any of these cards. We're fully blocked. And we now, because I bought the Farrier Flute, conserve energy between turns, so we might actually be able to to use our big attack at some point. This thing here, I don't know, moss monster. It's not moss. Does it have a name? A seed sower. It's a painful person. Oh wow, speaking of painful, I have no non-damaging card in my hand. Do we have 80 damage? Because I think I can cast all my cards. 14... math, 22, 29, and 24. Turns out not to be 80. Bit of a shame. So I'm going to do one strike in the backline just so they're gone and they don't start cheating themselves. And then I'm going to use all the other things to do maximum damage. And I'm going to take a huge chunk because I can't move my people. You're going to be up front. You're going to take 18 to the dome. Not great. Not great at all. But hey, we got to cast that expensive card, so that's cool. I did tell you this was a tough fight, right? This is not lethal either. So 7 and 8 is not 34. So we want to block a lot. 7 and 6 is 13 and 4 is 17. We're still going to take that, but not very much. Because I want him up front in the end. So I guess we have 4 energy. Yeah. We lunge. We strike. We parry. Defend. And phalanx. Move Sorocco up front. Sorocco gains 2 extra block for being up front. Because they're fortifying brew. And then they only take 2 damage. Also, we split the damage between the two, which tends to be a good thing. Now this is lethal. This is not quite, but we have another strike we can do. And then they're toast. Tough fight. Maybe it's time to pick up some cards. Nobling, 4 spaces in the straight line. See, that's kind of more my jam. 4 spaces straight will get us there once we're here. Sounds like a plan. We have 2 elite fights, right? So we have 2 extra brushes we can get. I think we can do what we need to do. Do an 8 reveal here. Take all the insane amounts of money that we're getting here. Touch a gem. Well, we should check on our gems. Ooh, achievement. I'm a prospector. So these gems can be socketed into cards. Most of our cards have 1 socket. Sometimes cards have 2. And they do what's on there. So if I put Scholar Shard in a card, it will, in addition to doing what it normally does, will also draw us a card. Red Diamond, when a card blocks, it will instead deal a lot of damage. I'm not sure I want that right now, but I like drawing cards. So let's draw cards. Pick up this Diamond Shield, which will just give us 8 block at the start of every battle. Let's check what kind of gems we have. That's the melee one here. That gives a card melee, which makes it 1 cheaper when you cast it from the front. The Raw Ruby, which deals 3 extra attack damage. That's not much, but on 1000 cuts, that's 3 times 3. It's 9 extra damage. It's decent. We're using the slot, so we can't put anything else there. But I think I'm going to do an upgrade to 1000 cuts right now to make that a bit more oomphy. This melee thing, I could put it on Slam, but Slam is so rarely useful. It seems tough to do that. I don't know what card I have that I would always cast from the front. Very tempted to put the Scholar Shard on the parry because it's free. It just allows me to draw an extra card for free. Gain the block. It seems decent. Not sure if I have a card for this yet. If it's anything, it's Slam. But that's kind of... Because we'll often have Sorocco in the back. And then that melee thing won't trigger. Alright, now I want to go there. With our last ink here. What last? I'm going to get a new one from the battle. Unfortunately, didn't reveal anything. So at best we're going to come out even out of this fight. Well, we could have a better ink, I suppose. So at best, that would be true. Oof, very, very tough fight. I'm glad we did some extra upgrading. We have the guy that sleeps for 2 turns and does a lot of damage, plus a normal fight. I'm gonna go up front with parry, draw my extra card, do 36 damage with 1000 cuts, and I will strike that guy down, I think. I technically don't need to do it this turn, but we don't get to kill anybody else, not quite. It's only 17 damage. And dead is dead, as they say. The interesting question to me is, do I keep an energy? So we draw 5 cards a turn. We will be able to cast Slam next turn unless we draw very unfortunately. If I keep an energy. We have 4 energy next turn. If I keep 1, I get 5. Yes. So I just want to kill. Take a bit of damage, unfortunately. I think it's worth it. Could have, instead of killing, guarded to move Sorocco up front, take no damage. But it's only 3 damage. I think we're okay. Hopefully. Famous last words. So now I believe we can cast Slam here. Because we cast these 4 cards, and then Slam costs 1, and then we can cast that too. We'll do 24 damage, which is not quite enough to kill you. So 1 strike on you would be kind of needed, right? So I think I do that. Strike you. I launch the other guy. I will guard and phalanx because it's free. I mean, it's not free, but it will reduce Slam by 1. So it's technically free, and then we do 24 damage here. Sorocco takes the hit. He will get tripped. So this costs extra, but we might not even have to cast it here. Let's parry our way up front. For free, draw a card, gain 4 block. It's starting to be quite an okay card. Then kill you off. And I think I'm just gonna block. Seems horrific, because they do 5 damage, and we have 4 block. We could do 12 instead. I don't think we need to take damage this fight anymore. Doesn't feel like we should have to. That guard is not getting cast. That guard is. That Slam is not. Hit you for a bit. Hit you for a bit. Guard for 8. Take no damage again, and then certainly we'll have lethal. And I think we got all this fight unharmed. I think we took 1 damage on her, maybe? Or 2? I think we took 2 damage. Not a lot. But she's starting to look a bit hurt. Ooh, Imperial Ink. Very good, very tough to use. As you saw, it reveals spaces in 2 directions. 4 spaces each, but in 2 directions. So ideally you want to use it in a place where you have, well, a single open spot, and then 4 things you want to reveal in each direction, which is almost never happening. And then you have sort of a trade-off between using it a lot less efficiently, but getting you somewhere that you want to be, or using it more efficiently, but just revealing space for the sake of revealing space. What I think is we want to check out some more shops, maybe heal a bit, and do an elite battle to get ourselves another brush. So let's do that. What's in the vault? Oh, also, there's a feature that we're going to talk about any moment now. Once we have 14 cards, there's a leveling system. The more cards you put in your deck, the more specific upgrades you unlock for your whole party. Well, for people in your party. We'll see that in a moment. What do we have here? We have Teamwork, a combo card, which means if I played a Sharra card before, then Teamwork will be 1 cheaper, which is nice. Fan of knives. I'm a fan of knives. Am I? I mean, kitchen knives, sure. Allows us to remove, essentially for the fight, 3 cards, up to 3 cards in our hand. And get that many daggers, which are cards that attack for 2. And then they remove themselves. It's cute because daggers on her are good, because, well, better. They do 5 damage, not 3 if she's up front, not 2. And we will be able to thin out our deck, removing cards we don't want. But on the turn you play, it's a pretty bad play, normally. But daggers also really work with the slam that we have in Sorocco, because they're cards we cast, so sort of leaning in on a dagger build might be nice. Or it's one of these block cards. Retreat will move us back once we cast Smoke Bomb. So wherever you start playing Smoke Bomb, you'll be in the back afterwards. Teamwork's very hard not to trigger, so this is essentially a 1-cost card. So it's probably better than Smoke Bomb in most cases. It also kind of retreats Sharra because it moves Sorocco forwards. So I think I'd rather take Teamwork than Smoke Bomb. The question is, do we want Fan of Knives? I think it's not what we need, right? It might be nice, but it's not what we need right now. We need some cards that actually do stuff to fight an elite. Let's grab another one. What do we have here? An exotic pet, an ally. So we cast these in combat and they're just there. They stay around until they lose all their spirit, which only happens from things that we do. Whenever the leading hero plays a card, deal damage equal to this ally's spirit to the leading enemy. So this pet is just around whenever we play a card of the leading hero. It's just 4 damage to the leading enemy. Interesting, quite expensive, but interesting. Blade Barrier, attack for 3, gain block equal to the damage dealt. Obviously it scales with block. So normally it will do, with power, it will do 6 for us. 6 and 6, okay. Then there's Goki, which makes mana on activation. So it costs 3 to play, which is a lot. But then we can activate it twice to gain 2 each. When you activate an ally, they lose 1 spirit. So we can only use them twice in normal circumstances. Oof. The exotic pet thing would kind of work with the dagger build I'm having in mind. It's a bit expensive and we don't have daggers yet. It's not like Blade Barrier is particularly impressive. Take this pet, I've never played with it. Might get me killed because it's too slow or something, but let's see. Drop 1 more card and then I think we'll go and fight an elite. There's the Shield Bash, we attack for 8. If we have a lot of block, we attack for 16 instead. Dragon Spirit will give Courage. Courage essentially gives an extra energy every turn. As long as you have Courage, and you lose 1 Courage every turn. And this gets better whenever we defeat an elite or boss battle. I wonder if this is a card for us. I mean, Duel is just good. It charges and does 12 damage. It's just solid damage. This costs us a card, so it's ugh. And Courage isn't insane, but it's extra energy. Our energy stays around. We like that. And we would be drafting this card before we defeat any elite. I'm going to pick it. It might be a weak choice. Very much into that option. But now that we have 13 cards, I'm going to open 1 more vault. I know I said that one would be the last one, but it's not. Because I want to get the extra ability. Warcry gives both heroes 2 power. Would scale with daggers, but it's not great. Flatten is pretty chunky. Just 25 damage. We have the thing that gives you a bonus. Don't we? Oh, that must have been last run. The run that didn't record. I had a bonus where playing 2-cost things was good. It's still pretty chunky. I think that's better than running the Fan of Knives right now, even though late game the Fan is probably the better card. Let's grab Flatten, just to have some oomph. And this unlocked our first tier here of abilities, and these are sort of randomized every run too, from a available set. We could choose to have Sorocco gain 5 block every time they take damage, the first time they take damage every turn. So when there's multiple hits, they can block others. Okay. Every 3 times your character swap, gain 1 energy. That's not bad. We don't have tons of swapping, but this party does lend itself to a lot of swapping. At the end of each battle, gain 2 gold, 1 gold for every 2 cards in your deck. We currently have 14 cards in our deck, so it gets 7 gold at every battle. I mean, that's the economy decision, isn't it? I'm gonna get warmed up. Like extra energy. Alright. Let's drink one of these healing things, because Sharra is a bit low. And then fight an elite. We have the protective pauldrons, so I'm not too afraid of Sharra dying there. Let's kill the elite in front of the boss, because if things go really wrong, we can at least go to the boss and not do both elites. I really want to do both elites, but if we can't, then that's at least an option. Yes, Lamb won't be able to use it this turn. Oh, I also won't be able to charge Sharra up. That's unfortunate. Losing out on 9 damage on the 1000 cuts. But I mean, 27 is still enough to kill this one. So I suppose that's fine. And you might think there's no damage incoming now. But the hag here is going to apply a bleed. But that cannot be blocked. So I don't need to do any more blocking. I think I'll do 1 strike here. Keep the last energy. Be super blocked. Get bled for 5. So every time we're going to lose 5 HP no matter what now. And Sorocco got concussed, which discarded one of their cards at random at the start of the turn, which I think was Phalanx. Alright, I drew that Dragon Spirit, which is not a great card, but we're going to cast it. We're going to cast all these cards, pretty sure. Question is, do we start with a parry? Let's start with the parry. No, let's play the Exotic Pet. Play the parry. Which probably does not trigger the pet yet, no, because it just moved us forward. But now when I cast this Dragon Spirit, the pet is going to do some damage. We're going to take a huge chunking here, actually. I might be able to flatten the frontliner, so we take slightly less damage. 25 and 10 does seem like it's enough. Also, we get to do some extra damage. Unfortunately, the hag has stealth. So, I mean, after I do flatten here, are they really on 5? Okay, we do some damage to the hag, but only to their block, so it doesn't really do anything. But still, get to kill that one. And we only take 5 here. And poor Sharra. And an extra 5 at Sorocco from the bleed. But now the hag is unveiled. So we can hurt her. What do I need to do? I think I just defend lunge and flatten here, right? Defend for full. Lunge for 12. And then flatten for 25. Plus the extra damage we got from that pet. Could have killed. Not quite, because it's not Sharra. If this was a Sharra strike, we would have killed there. So we're going to take an extra 5 damage on Sorocco from the bleed, but that'll be fine. And then we can just kill. And upgrade our Dragon Spirit, because we just defeated an elite battle. We did come out of that quite fine. I mean, I invested a lot in the beginning to make us able to fight these guys. Got a bunch of stuff. 1 brush is always some money. A stack of pages, which are meta currency for unlocks. And then a gem we can put into an ally, which I mean, I could do. Would make this ally do 1 more damage every time we play a card. It's not the worst, sure. Put that in there. Now that we have that brush, what do we want to reveal? We definitely want to go there, right? Yes. This is going to be a long episode. Boo. That is so very sad. I might just... Oh, I can't use this ink. How do I get this to be slightly less sad? I have a good place for that ink. This is a 6-tile reveal for the ink. That's not bad. Kind of hoping to fight another normal battle for an ink that helps me get to that item. I think 6 tiles is the best we get. What happens if I do 4 tiles here, and then I brush there? That gives me 2 tiles, and then not a lot of tiles. It's not the worst unveil though. And it's guaranteed to get me the item at least. Okay, fine. Unveil. See, we're wasting the full backline of this. We get nothing. 6 tiles, 8 tiles. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay, much better. We get an event, which is going to be very good. We get another card to draft. We get another page. Grab our branch of Tarim with those. Oh, these are block cards. Oh, block and draw a card. They're going to be kind of bad against the final boss, but otherwise they're going to be quite good. Let's do this. Let's take the event. Ooh, reduce Sorocco's max health by 1/3. Receive a Void Stone, which I can put into a card to make it free. Or I do the same to Sharra's max health. Okay, obviously we lose a lot less health when we put it on Sharra. 40, and then we do 1/3 of that. That's what, 10, 13? As opposed to 1/3 of that, that's 20, 23. It makes her quite vulnerable. But I think I do this. Sure, we have Sorocco protecting her too. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's scary. But yes, it's a very powerful gem. Obviously. I don't know that I have a card to put it in yet. Because putting it into the slam is kind of meh. Because it ideally is already cheap. But this means we can go and pick up a really expensive card and just make it free. Sounds fun. Let's draft one more and take another elite battle. Impact. Attacks an enemy for 12 and adjacent ones for 6. That's pretty good. Dagger Cage. Ooh. It does almost nothing right now. But if we're leaning into that dagger play that I kind of want, that's very good. And then there's Fire Breath, which just does 15 AoE damage, which is also very good. This does a lot less, but it's also much cheaper. But Fire Breath has 2 gem slots. I can put the free gem in there and something else. Or I just put the melee gem in there. Keep the free thing for something even more oomphy. Seems kind of good. Yeah, let's put the melee gem in there. It means we need to move Sorocco to the front sometimes, which we have not too many ways to do actually. We have the guard and the teamwork to do it. And just make it free. Yeah, let's live with it now. Make it free. I could dream to get something nutty. But this has to be fine. I think I'm gonna go take the other elite fight without healing. Risky. But I mean, she's almost close to her maximum health now. Ooh, this is a fun one. It might seem as if we want to cast Fire Breath here right now, but it's actually bad. Probably. Gotta consider. So this monster, whenever a creature dies, it gets eaten, stunning the monster for a turn, but giving them more power next turn. If I Fire Breath here, we don't get attacked for 16. We also don't get attacked for 8. But we buff this one by 8 power, and these 2 are gone. So we can't use them for stuns later. That seems weak. It's very sad to not use Fire Breath, but I don't think I can. I think I will just guard and strike and strike. And I'm not even going to strike one of the Tiki. I'm going to do this. So now we take 6 damage. Casting the Fire Breath would have allowed me to cast Slam too. Maybe that would have been worth it. I know. Ooh, these are nice. Let's run these Gear's Graces. Yes, I don't have the pet. If I had the pet, we would have to consider to play the Gas Graces later, but we didn't. I can now do a lot of damage. And then Phalanx gives me almost full block. So we lunge at you. I lunge at thee. I hit thee for 36. Could just flatten thee. But if I flatten thee, I take 10 damage on Sharra. That's kind of not what I want to do. Let's do this instead. And then the question becomes... do I strike? And if so, whom? I'm just going to strike the backliner. These get more power now, so we will have to deal with them at some point. But we want to deal with them at some point. It's just the question of when. What can I do here? I can exotic pet, parry, dragons thing, and teamwork. That gives me 14 block. Might also kill that guy. Does it? I don't think it does. Well, let's parry up. Ooh, Gear's Grace. Now, I assume this goes in the front liner, but just in case it doesn't, I'm going to cast this first. Do you want to cast this defend? I actually do, don't I? Well, maybe that didn't. Cast the Grace. Yeah, okay, the front liner casts it, I suppose. Oh, neither one casts it. So we didn't get the exotic pet trigger here. We drew 1,000 cards. Oh, now I can't cast Teamwork because I'm an idiot. Didn't realize it would cost 2 after casting the neutral card. So, screwed that up a bit. But I think we'll be fine here. Just took a bit of damage for my sins. Yeah, I think at this point I don't mind fire breathing at all. We can't get Sorocco up front, so that doesn't matter. No, we're just going to start with the fire breathing. Stun and hurt the backliner. And then, I mean, this is not even relevant. How will we do this? They're dead. Alright. An hour in, it's about time to get to that boss. I mean, I want to be a lot faster. Did I say this yet? My plan is to do 1 boss an episode for now, until I'm faster. A good hero did not attack last turn, they gained 2 power this turn. I'm gonna put it on Sharra. Oh, she never doesn't attack, does she? I'm gonna put it on Sharra because she's the only one who can really use power anyway. Alright, let's find one place to pop to get the most value out of our brush. There's nothing specific we have to go to, so 9. You place better than 9? 10. This game really needs a map mode, a reveal map mode. We just go to a place. Ooh, down here is probably better. Just shows every tile on the map. If I press a button, it shows me the reveal that a brush would do on each and every tile. That's 10 as well. Okay, never mind. It's not better. Let's do a 10. Pick up some money. Yeah, check another set of cards too. Spend all your energy, attack for 10 times the amount spent. That's the reason to put power on Sorocco, I suppose. He Sharra deals damage. This deals the same amount of damage. It loses 1 spirit. So if we did big attacks on Sharra, which we're currently not really, that would be quite cute. And Buckle Up gains me 10 blocks. Quite expensive, but it will decrease the cost of a relevant card in my hand to 0. So on average it would cost 1. I can't quite choose. Hammer time. We have ways to generate decent amounts of mana, but it's also not going to do much for a while. Well, it's an attack for 10, just for 1 mana. You just can't keep mana for next turn for the flute. Maybe it's just hammer time. I have a lot of damage dealing cards, don't I? Let's take Buckle Up because it's a way to get Sorocco up front. That's something we want to do. Grab the money, the healing. Grab the other healing. We won't be able to go back to anything here. Oh, there's another card draft too. once we defeat the boss, so we're gonna have to pick everything up. I could check the shop again, but I would just be sad that I can't buy anything. So I probably won't. Maybe I will. This one is fun, but it's not very easy to give extra spirit to allies. Not on these characters. So I don't think the Lava Surge Axolotl is very good for us. Don't know that I want another Fire Breath. Let's skip. Check the shop because there are cards for 50. There might be something nice here. It's another Fire Breath. No, thank you. Shield Bash. And then I can't afford the rest. Except for the Horse Master, which is not actually all that great. Works with the Hunting Cloak? No, it's the warmed up thing, I suppose. I want to buy this Horse Master. It would also attack people for 5 every turn. And we can use it to swap around. Sure. A pretty thick deck, and I'm not a big fan of that, but at least in this game you get sort of rewarded for having a big deck by getting those bonus things. Alright. Boss fight time, but first heal up a bit. At least once. I might eat both of these healing things. 58 out of 70. Surely that's fine, right? We die to the first boss, then that's kind of funny. I do want to put this into something though. It's not really great on Buckle Up because I will use Buckle Up to move forward. Otherwise I would like that. I don't have a thing to put it on. Not really. Let's not use it. Watch me die to the boss battle. Because I greeted the healing and the card there. Alright, Spider Boss. Web at the end of each turn. Reduce the power of the leading hero by 1. Lasts until the end of battle. So if they keep webbing, at some point we don't do any damage anymore. And there's no blocking. So it's a soft timer. Although Exotic Pet, for example, is not actually bothered by that. Definitely gonna get that down. Definitely gonna cast the Gear's Grace. Is this a slam turn? Kinda is, isn't it? Gonna go parry. Oh, with Gear's Grace, it's easily a slam turn. Go with the Grace. Go with the Strike, because we're already fully defended. Hit for a bit, because we played a card on the leading character, and then punch for 24. Not too shabby. One might say we even get to keep a mana for next turn. What's this? Oh yeah, that's the power reduction. Yeah, and they're just gonna keep doing that every freaking turn, apparently. Let's run Gear's Grace. Let's run the Horse Master. Master of the Horse. I think I will swap them around. I don't need to use the Horse Master to swap around. Right, I could just buckle up. Does less damage that way. Let's swap around. Buckle up. Get a free strike. The reason I wanted Sorocco to be up front is that every cast of a card up front does another 5 damage because of our exotic pet. And then flatten them a bit. Alright. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. How do we do this? I definitely want to strike. Attack for 13, but it's going to be less when this isn't there. So we're probably going to attack by 10 for 10. In Phalanx now there's 11 block because we control an ally, so I'm going to cast that. Then I'm actually going to use the Horse Master to swap Sharra up front. Could have done it with Lunge, but now Lunge will trigger the exotic pet for 5 more damage. As will the Dragon Spirit. And I keep the rest of my energy. Power reduction on Sharra is obviously a bit sad, but especially with 1,000 cuts coming up. But that's still a lot of cuts, isn't it? Let's cut 1,000 times. Oh, this is easy. Look at this boss go down. Trivial. And we only spent an hour defeating the first boss. Tons of loot. We get a brush. We actually get 5 brushes for the next map. That always happens. We get some money, a bunch of pages. We get to heal to full. I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm going to pick up the treasure. Start of battle, each 4 columns prayer to our deck. This is fine. Especially good with the extra card playing that we want to do. It's kind of bad against the final boss, which makes all our cards cost 1 more. August Cleaver, when the equipped hero deals 20 damage in a single hit, inflict 5 bleed. We could put that on Sorocco, who has a few cards that do that, and start the bleeding. Start of each battle, gain 3 energy. That's super strong for us, I think, because we just get to keep the energy. Yeah. Let's do that. And then this, you always get the choice between, as far as I've seen, the choice between 3 cards or a gem. Gem of Breaking, this card's hits, remove all enemy lock. Can be good. It's kind of situational. Or we get these 3 cards. We can't pick just 2 or something. We'd have to take all 3 or none. Mentor isn't bad. On ally gives both heroes power equal to their spirit. 1000 cuts is fine. It's not like insane, and the singular parry is kind of bad. We don't have any card draw yet. There's not a lot of card draw in these classes. These 2 characters don't have a lot of card draw. And that's often the case here. I don't really want the cards, and the gem isn't great. Then I choose the gem because I don't want to fill my deck with these cards. We are at 17 cards in our deck. At 18 cards we get another thing. And then at 22. And we could just lean in on the thick deck nature here. I don't love it. I'm not going to claim that I love it. Especially with parry in there, which does so very little. I think I'm going to take the gem. It's sad. I'm going to have to do it. Heal to fall. Yeah, I don't even know where to put these yet. We'll see. And continue to the next floor. Lost in the Oversky. But that is for our next episode, because we're already over an hour in. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like what you're seeing, and I say this a lot, but it's especially important right now. If you like seeing some of this here game, Roguebook, then please do hit that like button, and or let me know in the comment section that you like it. Of course, do feel free to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. If you don't like this, and you want to see something else, then feel free to go down there in that comment section and tell me what else you would like to see instead. I mean, you can hit that dislike button, sure, if that's your thing, but I'd much rather that you just tell me what's wrong. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and see you folks next time.